Good morning, RFHL. I hope everybody is doing well. Had a nice weekend. It's still warm out there for all you guys. It's September. It's going to be October. I just looked at the weather. It's going to be like 90 degrees next weekend. So hopefully you guys were able to get outside. I got week 3 this week, the POJ. I got with myself tonight, Rob Maston. Maston, how you doing?
Doing well. Go Mets.
I don't think the Mets. Well,
oh no,
there's always next year. Boy, they blew that one, huh?
Yes, they did.
Oh boy. And I got John Huron. How you doing, John?
Good. What's going on? Always a good day when the Bills win.
There you go. Go Bills. Go Bills. And I got Westgate Matt with me tonight.
How we doing, guys? It's great when the Jets don't play on Sunday, and the Nats are terrible at baseball. So we're all good over here.
That's fine. It looks like you're ready for hockey with the Rangers stuff. So
right.
let's go. Preseason, I think, started already, and I guess we're off and running. So, all right. So let's talk about week 2. Just real briefly. Then we got some questions, and then we're gonna roll into week 3 preview. So, Masson, I'm gonna toss it over to you first here for the week 2. Like, how did your game go week 2? I'm gonna throw some stuff up on the screen and everything. You just go right ahead and start talking.
From a team perspective, the Iron Thrones, I was ecstatic about how we played on this past Wednesday. Everything just came together, and I started to see Alex's vision of how we would play. And, we're not overly offensive or overly defensive, but the hustle that we had on Wednesday was second to none. One of the best hustle games I've ever been a part of. We were just beating them to some pucks. And I know I talked to Bob at the end of the game, and he told me there's a few guys that were injured. But, despite that, we're playing against one of the better goalies in the league, and Steve Kazmark. And every single goal was hustle, and just, very exciting for us to get that win out of the way and move forward. So.
Yeah, you guys look pretty impressive. I watched some of your game there, and we played you guys week 1.
Yep.
And kind of took it to you guys a little bit. Maybe you're just getting adjusted to everybody's new teams, which always week 1. I mean, I don't know. I think week 2s and 3s is really kind of find out where everybody starts separating themselves. But yeah, you guys had a stellar evening from you guys for sure. That was you guys put in some work.
Yeah, I was happy to be part of that, and I feel like everybody contributed offensively and defensively. And Alex Packard continues to be very underrated in this goaltending, in my opinion. He was making saves that most other goalies definitely would have had trouble with. Just if there's a hustle for a goalie, Alex has got it. That's what I've been saying for years. So
yeah, for sure. Definitely a good win over the Moose, 12-5. You ended there, and the Moose got Kazmark in net, who looked a little shaky there in that one, and then you shut down Brad. I mean, Brad.
Yeah,
still did Brad things, but
all of the goals we scored on Kazmark weren't like snipes. They weren't necessarily like beautiful shots on beautiful setups. They were really just like creating turnovers on defense and taking it the other way. And I just felt like Kazmark's team was a little bit tired. And like I said, I talked to Bob Haynes, and I know they had some injuries from a hockey tournament this past weekend. But still a really good team. And I think that they'll shake this one off, and they will be back in grid form soon.
Yeah, I also heard about the injuries, those guys playing in the tournament and stuff like that, which
one of them was rugby. I heard one of them was a rugby tournament that there was an injury from, and I won't say who because I don't want to give everyone in the league, but it was I didn't even know he played rugby, so more power to him, man.
Yeah, that would be a HIPAA violation, so we're not allowed to speak about injuries.
Plus, I saw him as a patient, so I can't say much more.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. That's fair. I mean, it's one of the, it's the old classic, the hockey, like lower body injury. Like who the heck knows when he's injured? It could be his pinky toe to his quad. Who knows? It's lower body.
Exactly.
All right. Awesome. Yeah. That was it. Yeah. Good showing from you guys. That was great. Frankie got 5. Everybody scored actually on your team. You were saying about all your goals. I mean, everybody got a goal. So that's always impressive when teams do that. I usually kind of call that out when I'm writing the stats a little right up to like when everybody scores, or everybody gets an assist. I mean, that's an accomplishment to get the whole team involved there.
Yep.
Awesome. Haran, how was your game?
The polar opposite of Rob's.
Okay, perfect. I'm glad I went to you next then. Awesome. Perfect.
The
All right.
Manitoba Moose had some internal discussions, just reevaluating the focus of our team for this season. As Rob alluded to, I think there was some focus in other leagues and teams and sports. We are going to be RFHL focused moving forward. But yeah, just to kind of match what Rob was saying, your team was just absolutely smoking us every turn. You beat us to every puck. Everyone on your team was hustling, scoring goals. I mean, it's kind of the recipe of success in this league is if you can get your whole roster scoring from top to bottom. And unfortunately, we just couldn't get it rolling, and we had some tired bodies out there that just had to be out there for one reason or another. But yeah, Rob, you guys took it to us this week. It was a great win by you guys, and definitely some key takeaways for the Moose, but we'll bounce back. We got Brad.
I really do think you guys will bounce back. I really thought it was like, definitely you guys would bounce back. So.
Well, hey, week 9, I guess we'll get to see.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll have to record that. Since we're recording it, you have to go back, replay this. And be like, okay, how do we shut him down? Any other tips you're going to give him, Maston, for the next time?
I didn't give him any tips. I just said, injuries played a big part of it, and I'm happy we had the win. But I know they're a good team, and it's not going to be easy to beat any team in the RFHL twice, let alone a team led by Brad and John and Kazmark and goal. So.
Awesome. All right. And moving on to Matt.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing. Like what John said, it was polar opposite of how we played in week 1. Unfortunately, I wasn't there in week 1. I was out of town. But yeah, we just got steamrolled there early on from Matt's team with Limp Bizkit. They I think they got up to like a 5-1 lead after the first period. And I thought we looked a little gassed by the second. I thought we looked a little slow. I think the other problem we had was, we missed Andrew wasn't there and I wasn't there last week. So I think there's just the chemistry part of it and was missing. We haven't played 2 weeks yet as a full team. So hopefully this upcoming week, Wednesday, we can get everybody and we can kind of see what our team's going to look like with a full squad. But for me, this was week 1 essentially for me, and I was not where I should have been. I felt slow personally, and probably hindered the team a little bit. But I think we got a good team. Furlano, Dr. K, those guys can run the offense. I think we'll bounce back. We got a tough opponent this week with 2.0's team, but I think we'll definitely bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. There always seems to be one team that for whatever reason, like all season long, like they don't have a full team. For whatever, they could be a team that like guys that normally always show up, and then like this year they just all decide not to come. So hopefully that doesn't happen to you guys. But yeah, back-to-back weeks of not having your full team yet. So far, I think you're the team that hasn't had their full team yet. For that, maybe I'm wrong. I think actually the Moose, maybe Shane didn't play in either of his games. It was the same guy missing. So, but yeah, there usually is like oddly just like one team where like 6 or 7 of the weeks they didn't have their full team. So it is always tough to find that balance. I did see Keller earlier. I played a little ice hockey with him. For our RIT intramurals old guys team, the staff team against all the students trying to chase them around the ice I don't know why we do it. But yeah, he was saying that he watched it. He was at work. He had to work. He had a concert. The Stranger Things guy was here at RIT. So we had a concert and he was saying he was watching it and kind of echoed what you were saying here, just kind of getting a little slow. He said the kind of the same the same thing. And that would be my takeaway from it as well, from watching your game. Just like, yeah, with Filano and Dr. K, those guys got the motors. If their motors are backfiring a little bit, then yeah, it could be a struggle to get you guys going for sure. And everybody on Limp Bizkit's got a point. Blotz didn't get a goal, but everybody else did. And George and Newberry had hat tricks. So it wasn't even just Foes taking it to you. I mean, those two guys also got hat tricks. George said that he did not play well week 1 and wasn't going to replicate that for week 2. So he was a little angry after week 1. So sorry you got the brunt of it.
I was superstitious during the game. I ended up switching sticks, I think, in the 3rd period, and then I think I scored a goal. So I am going to blame it on the stick for this past week. So
that's usually what I do too. Like if I'm on the golf course and I miss a putt, yeah, that ball's going in the water because definitely was the ball's fault. It should have rolled in. Should know where it's going. So awesome. Did any of you guys catch the 6:30 game? I mean, I did, but if you guys caught the 6:30, which was Phoenix Coyotes and the Masturbators, any of you guys catch that one? If not, that's fine. I can touch on it, but I just figured I'd ask.
I caught the first part of it. I think I caught most of it. It was a close game to start. They were really close, and I hadn't seen the Masturbators play, and that whole rookie team was really interesting to watch. So 2.0 must have known something because they looked really good, and it was a fun game to watch. I think that was probably one of my favorite ones to watch of this past week.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good game. It definitely got away from them at the end. The Coyotes, 9-5, the Vaders. The rookies are moving well and they're adjusting to the gym pretty quickly, which is nice. So yeah, they are the only 2-0 team. Actually, they are the only 2-0, and their opponents, the Coyotes, are the 0-2. Everybody else is 1-1. So far off to a good start by the Masturbators. But yeah, I think the game was closer than 9-5. It was like one of those. If you told me what the final score was, I thought that was kind of off from how the game was. It seemed like it was a 1 or 2 goal game that anybody could take it there. So it was a good game. It's a good game to watch. The Coyotes, they had Paul and Brian were the only 2 goal scorers. So as we talked about Maston's team, the Iron Thrones getting all their goals and victories and taking it to the Moose there. I would say the advice would be for the Coyotes to get everybody else involved. Kyle, the rookie Brennan, and Mike and Dan were all shut out for goals. So the secret to success, learn from the Iron Thrones. Is that right, Maston?
That is correct. And I think they have, looking at what they have on their team, they have goal scorers. Guys have been in this league for a bit, and they do put in some goals. So I don't see it being a season-long problem as long as they can kind of gel.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's interesting to see, you got Mike, Kyle, Brendan, and Dan totaling 3 goals all season in 2 games. You got 4 guys playing, only scoring 3 goals. They're better than that. They definitely are better than that. I mean, I know when I was playing against them in week 1, I mean, the rookie Brendan was awesome on defense, but he's got a sneaky shot. Dan Thiesing, with no goals, no assists too. He'll get the ball rolling. That's just one of those teams that's just having a slow start playing together. But I will say this, as advice to the Phoenix Coyotes, when they played us in week 1, Brian scored, I think, 3 goals, and it was Brian and Kyle going back and forth. Paul's going to score goals. He's just going to score. I'll try to block as many shots as I can, but they're going to get through. But you got to get that team rolling, and that's going to cycle through Brian and Kyle. And, Kyle having a 1-1 stat line is surprising 2 weeks in. He's definitely, I bet the Phoenix Coyotes come out this week hot and ready for some blood.
Sorry, Maston.
Yeah, I know. I was like looking at him like, hey, we play. Oh, yeah, that's right.
You're like, yeah, John's talking. And I was like, and who's going to be the victim? Oh,
I'm not giving him any bulletin board material. That's for sure. That's up to the Bob. That's up to, Brian D'Angelo. But I'm just kidding. No, they very good team, and playing in week 3, and they've got something to prove, and that's always tough to do. Playing a team that's got something to prove the week after a tough loss.
For sure. All right, and then we'll move into the nightcap RFHL After Dark, which was my game against Sarnia Sting. We had the lead through 2, and then we kind of lost it there in the third. I think it was 4-1 in the third for the Sting, and they came back. This was a back and forth game.
Yes, it was.
One of the better games of the week, even though I was in it, and we ended up getting the loss. I always like playing these games. It was just both teams played really well. It could have went either way. If we had won, I know being friends with Hook, he would have been, praising that we did well, and then I'm doing the same for their team. They played well. They had a game plan. They stuck to it, and ended up getting the victory. When they switched there, Conco looked like mid-season Conco form. I mean, he was. I think him and Alex, if we did the next gen stats on who comes out further from the net, I'd be interested to see which one of those guys comes out further and stays out further. True. And so when Con goes on, I know we gave him a third round because we weren't sure how he would come back from his injury. I mean, he's the RFHL goals career wins leader. Not just because he's played a very long time. Like, he's very good, and he seems to be right back on track. If he ends up playing like he could early second, high first rounder, for sure, that team is real dangerous. With Hook, I mean, he puts on a lot of pressure. They got an extremely veteran team. I mean, Cody is on the team. I think Cody only has like 3 maybe seasons, and Paul's got maybe 8. I could probably look all this up instead of
Chatterton.
Yeah, and then Chatterton. Yeah,
he's one of the OGs.
Right. Yeah. Then you have Conco, John, Jeremy, Kenton, all having 20 plus.
Yep.
Which is crazy. I mean, all of them on the same team. So they're clearly going for a little bit of a veteran leadership there. But yeah, it was a great game. My guys played well on our team. We had our full team for the first time. Everybody got a point for our team. I had a couple goals. Lasagna had 2, Cider had 2, Whitmer 2. A bunch of us had 2 in there. So it was a good balance from us, but they just ended up putting more past Brendan. I mean, that's really all it came down to. Hook had 2, Paul had 2, Cody had 2, Chatterton and Jeremy, everybody got a goal for them. So again, that's the secret to success. Everybody score a goal, and apparently you win. And both teams, at least for last week, were 2 for 2. Everybody got a goal, and that team won. So message to all you out there: if everybody scores on your team, probably going to win the game. So
yeah, and John and I ref that game, and it was really cool to see Conco come in the second period. Last week I think he played 1 period. This week he's playing 2 periods. So I'm assuming he may try and go 3 next week, but man, what a difference he makes. And not only that, but having Kenton out there on the floor is like having a second goalie, in my opinion. I think he really plays to the strengths of a goalie when he's out there on the floor. I really feel like he's a good defender and, knows what the goalie wants, as he was just playing goalie earlier in the game. So he did a really good job. And the hustle of Dan Hook, I'm not looking forward to playing. No, there's not one team I'm looking forward to playing in the RFHL, but they're definitely going to be a tough one. Yeah,
definitely. All right, that was a good week 2 recap. So this is our throwback 30. So we're going to change gears a little bit. We talked about week 2. We're going to move on to some questions. Every podcast, I hope they are asking questions to guys around we're just throwing back. We're just talking about old times. We're talking about new times with some of you guys. You guys are relatively newer in the league, contrary to Maston and myself. So I thought it'd be a good balance to kind of ask you guys some questions and then balance it with Maston and I having played at the Old Y, and you guys haven't played there yet. And Matt, relatively still new, only a few seasons in. So the first question that I had for you guys is like, what's your top team? Your favorite team? Doesn't necessarily have to be the best team that you could have, only won 1 game or whatnot. What was the funnest team, your favorite team so far that you played on? And if you don't have your own team, I mean, everybody loves their own team, right? We're the best team that's ever been created in RFHL history. Maybe from that season, if you don't have your own specific one, a team that you remember that was just a killer team. And it would have been fun to play with, but they kicked our butts 3 times, but they just dominated all season. Could also be one of those. So Masson, I'll ask you first. What's your
Sure.
favorite, best, whatever, insert adjective team?
So it was the fall of 17. We had what was called the A team. I think it was the year of the 80s that we did. Conco was our goalie. We had a certain someone go to a Jimmy Eat World concert. Jeff Burge, he was our first round pick that year. And I think we could have won it all. But unfortunately, Jeff had to go to Jimmy Eat World for the second round of the playoffs. And this was coming off the year that I went to my first championship, but I thought this team was even better than that. And, I'm still looking for my first championship. So I just look back at those two teams, the A team and when I was captain of the Plymouth Whalers, when we went to the championship and we were missing Paul in the championship. We only lost by a goal. So it's just those little things that gnaw at you as you want, someone like me and Kenton, Alex Packard, we're looking for our first RFHL championship. We always think about those little things, those always what ifs and things like that. So, but I'd say my favorite team was definitely the A team. We had Cody, who was a rookie. I think he was I don't even think he was a rookie that year, but he was just really good hustler, somebody who could shoot from anywhere and score. And I thought he was a first rounder. And then we had him and Mr. Jeff Burge, and had a really good team. And I just always look back at that one as what if.
Yeah, Cody was like a little Jerome Iginla or whatever.
He really was.
That's
really
what we
was.
ended up calling him. He looked like him and all stuff. That is, I will say, Haran and Westgate don't know the team we're talking about, and it's back in the day. But I think of all of the teams and like how guys bring up stories. That's one of the stories where it's like, yeah, we would have won except for Jeff Burge went to a concert, and then that was like, so every time now we come to finals, like, if guys aren't going to be there, like they reference, well, this one time we didn't have Jeff Burge in the finals.
It happened more than once. There's another team that there was another Jimmy Eat World team. I can't remember. I think Conco might know where I don't think he was on the team, but I think he might know who it was where Burge was at a Jimmy Eat World concert the year before that too. So it's tough being stuck in the middle,
Yeah.
That's a reference to Jimmy Eat World, just in case anyone is whatever. Okay, I'm done.
We're not that young, Rob. We got it.
I got it.
I thought it was a Greta Van Fleet song. So.
No, but that's another whole story. That's Sweet's favorite band, by the way. If anybody doesn't know that, you really want to talk to Sweet about Greta Van Fleet. He is a diehard fan.
Yeah, for nobody that knows, we one season. The schedule came out and everybody's like at least a dozen, 15.
Oh yeah.
RFHL guys, like we're like, yeah, we can't play that Wednesday. We're all going to the Greta Van Fleet concert. It was at the Dome Arena, I believe, right?
And they all met at my house before. So I was kind of the ringleader. I felt bad, but man, it was a good show. And
and what are they doing now?
They're still around.
Yeah, exactly.
Around.
Who knows? Yeah, right. So we adjusted one of the schedule. We adjusted the schedule. We had a bye week in the middle of our season because like no one was going to be there that week. And so like, how I am a stickler with time and scheduling, that like just that threw a wrench. They were like, yeah, we have to, no one's going to be here. Like we're going to, like every team is going to be missing 2 or 3 guys. Like we got to reschedule. We're like, all right. So we rescheduled that season.
And it wasn't kids' Christmas concert, something important like, oh, you got to be there for the kids. No, it was Greta Van Fleet. So.
Greta Van Fleet. All right, Haran, what about you? What's one of your favorite, most memorable teams?
If pre-draft this year, I probably would have said Tipsy Talking Twisters. But I'm out for blood against Matt and Conco this year for passing me up in the draft multiple times each. So I'm changing my answer to the GTA 5 Bulls. That team was absolutely stacked. We had Joe Gant, Lasagna, Jesse, somehow got Mark in the 4th, myself, and then I believe it was John Blotz's rookie year. I don't know, it's one of those teams that just the draft fell in its place. We didn't have a great regular season. We were 5th going into the playoffs. And it was just one of those teams that no one ever stopped running. And we worked so well together. We cycled well. We had the scorers. And this ended up going into OT in the finals, where Lasagna scored the OT winner from half court, and it was just a great feeling. Thankfully I was on the bench in OT. I was terrified to go out, but Steve got it like a couple minutes in. No one even changed yet, so it was the perfect situation for me in OT in the final. But that was just such a fun team to play with. And again, it was one of those, the draft made that team just, on paper, looking back, this was fall of 22. 3 years ago, looking at this team on paper, you don't know. Now you're looking at this team going, wow, how did those people fall to where they were? That was a fun team. That was my one and only experience with Joe Ganton. That was lights out. I don't know. It was like playing with Zach Davis. Again, a one-hit wonder in my RFHL lifetime. I played one season with each of them, and it was a different animal. But that's got to be my favorite team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that is you look at it now and you're like, how did that happen? There's a lot that I think that happens not quite often. I don't want to use that word, but I mean, it does happen where like guys, you look back and you look at you're like marking the fourth. You're like, what was everybody? I know John Foes was like middle of second, like stuff like that just happens and you're just not sure. I mean, this year we might have the same thing. Chris is off to a great start. It might be the same, like what we might look back 3-4 years from now and be like, wait, what? He was a fourth? Like, yeah. And Mark in the fourth. Yeah. I think that might've been Mark's rookie season, or maybe
that
like
was Mark's rookie.
Yeah. And
yeah.
in the rookie game, like he didn't look that great, but you've got to get used to the puck. And the rules that we have for goalies, it's a totally different play. And everyone was like, I don't know. And I'm like, I think he's gonna be really good. And then he kept falling. And I'm like, oh man, like, all right, yeah. And then you come to find out what he is now and how good he is at being drafted so high. You're like, yeah, that team's good. Yeah. I'm glad you got to experience Joe Gant. For sure. We're trying to get him back in here. We try to tell Jesse every time they're best friends in Buffalo. And we try to get, every time I ask Jesse, I'm like, is Joe coming back? Like, cause it's fun to have those like really highly skilled guys that are also like super chill and nice guys. Like that's why you have Brad and Foles. Like, I think Brad would rather pass it to you and have you get the game winning goal. And like, he's happy he passed it to you. Like we're all about like, he's not just like, yeah, I got to do it all myself. He's just, everyone else is, you mentioned Zach Davis, same thing. They're just like, pass it. Someone else score. And sometimes you're like, Zach, Joe, like shoot it. Thank you for being helpful, but like shoot it. All right, man. What about you?
All right, let me take you all the way back to last spring with all my years of expertise here. But no, I think I gotta go. I mean, I've only played one full season, so there's not much. But last year's team, the Tipsy Talking Twisters, John will know. I mean, just off the court and off, when we weren't playing, that group chat that we had, the chemistry we had. I mean, what stays in the group chat is going to stay in the group chat. But man, those guys. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better team to start playing in the RFHL. Those guys, everybody of those guys was so great to play with. And I mean, noobs starting off by not even having my phone number, the right phone number, and texting probably some guy across
in the Philippines.
Yeah, in the Philippines, asking him if he's ready for week 1 for the RFHL.
Did that guy ever respond? I heard that story. Did he ever respond? I remember somebody told me about that.
John, I don't know. I can't say anything. I wasn't there. That was the wrong number.
I don't think so. I think Conco may have kept his number, but you'll have to ask him.
That doesn't surprise me at all. That Conco is probably best friends with him. Yeah, Conco is probably sending him like care packages of like RFHL stuff to this guy who randomly. That'll be like our new Boaks, Boaks story, our Boaks from back in the day. So
yeah.
But no, I enjoyed playing with everybody on that team, and like John said, it's the revenge against Matt. I mean, he could have taken all of us. He only took noobs there, so unfortunately, my revenge team didn't go too well last week. But yeah, anybody we're playing against, it's revenge game now. I know Whitmire. He's already waiting for his revenge game against Makarchuk too.
Man, we got a bunch of revenge games.
Yeah.
All right. I like it. All right, so I guess it's my turn, right, to go for my favorite team. I'm finding this here. So I have like the to do a like our team chat from the Firestorms. Probably annoyed everybody in the league because we were super chatty, and we still have it going. The Firestorms is still going. We still are chatting. That's been a fantastic team. The Chili Chili Chompers, another good one. Those are two recent memories, back-to-back seasons. They're pretty solid on there. But one of my favorite teams I played on was the Tigers. So this goes back to how the Cup was won. That was that season, which was 10 seasons ago, season 20. And what we did is we paired up two players who had played together and won a championship previously, and then we put them together. So this one here, they didn't win a championship, the Tigers. I will say that. They didn't win. They were the first team to lose in overtime. So we were looking for kind of trying to search for like who we wanted and for who had won and who played together and who was still in the league. I needed to make like a little concession, and I added them in because they lost in overtime as the first team there. And that was with Chatterton and Foes. And when they messaged ahead of time, they said, hey, I think we want to play with Brittany, which is John's wife, and get Jeremy, which is kind of like the Sarnia Sting. It's a little reminiscent of that. And then he's like, yeah, so we might not be very good, but we just want to like have fun this season. And I'm like, yeah, I'm on board. Sure. Like, why not? He's like, yeah, we didn't want to pick another first rounder and then have him be like, what are we doing here? And like, so he's like, we're going to ask you, do you want to play with us? I'm like, yeah, sure. And we picked Tim Anderson, like super nice guy. Like, he's just like, sure. He's along for the ride. So whatever. So he ended up picking the team. And I remember after like 2 weeks, I think we were like 2-0. And like, I remember chatting and being like, we weren't supposed to be any good. And now I like want to try, but I don't want to try because then like week 3 and 4 or whatever, like we ended up trying and like losing. So it's like, wait, we just go back to having fun and like not caring, or like, are we like good? We were in every game. He was like, at the beginning, he's like, we may not even win a game. And so that was just like fun, just to be like, we're not going to be any good. And then like, oh shoot, we are pretty solid out there. So I liked getting back and playing with those guys. That was a good for me. I had been in the league for a couple seasons, so to play with some savvy veterans and things like that. That was fun. That was a good season for me, like a little bit different. Kind of threw a little curveball in there for that team. Shout out to the Tigers. So that's one of my more enjoyable, just kind of like seasons of just like, yeah, I thought we weren't going to win a game. But we made the playoffs, so it's fine. Like we struggled through the regular season and made the playoffs.
Wow.
I know.
I mean, I can't believe you guys made the playoffs.
I know. Me too. All right. So the second question, we kind of mentioned some players now, but I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys think about who would be on the RFHL like Mount Rushmore? And to be fair, I thought about this over the weekend and asking the question and stuff like that. I don't want to make anybody upset by not including them. So I think this is more just for fun and sort of tongue in cheek and just having a good time. I do think, truthfully, we could probably do a Mount Rushmore for like each round of where normally people are drafted, because you have guys that like only scored 10 goals and yet are like the best defenseman. You think of like a Paul Haran, you're up there, King. Like King's like always drafted in the second or third rounds.
Yep.
He may only get 10 goals, but like everyone knows he's like a stellar defenseman.
Yep.
So like points wise, no, but like what he does, I mean, maybe, so I was just having some fun. So I was just gonna chat about that. Masson, what do you think? I got a little presentation too to show up as well. So
this was definitely a tough one. I don't really think you can do an RFHL Mount Rushmore without Paul Paradine. I mean, he's been doing this for really long time. He's a RFHL all-time leading goal scorer, and it's really tough to do one without him. John mentioned Zach Davis earlier. He would be on my Mount Rushmore of RFHL. Just fantastic guy, great player, great chemistry with the league. He's way better. He could have had more goals, but he's always one, like Sweet said earlier, to pass the puck. And then my third would be Furlano. I think Furlano is very underrated sometimes. He might go to the third, anywhere between the third and sixth pick of the draft, but I think he's somebody who's been doing it for a long time, and he'd be my third. And then my fourth, I'm gonna throw in a goalie, and it's somebody who's recent. I would throw in Mark Zager. I mean, how many Stanley Cups? Wow, how many cups has he won? Yeah. How many cups has he won as a goalie? Just because, I mean, the teams he's had, they play well with him, and he's just a natural leader. If I had to throw in a goalie, in which I'm going to, I would throw in Mark as my fourth.
Boy, I think you're gonna make Brett and Conco pretty mad at you.
I know. I've already.
You're ready for it.
I'm already penning apologies to both of them.
Okay.
But it's really tough to pick four. But Mark with his early dominance, I would say he's definitely one of the best RFHL goalies there's been. So don't hurt me, anybody I didn't pick.
No, for sure. I mean, I put us on there. I put the four of us on there. I thought we were,
sure.
Are we not?
Definitely.
No? Okay.
Definitely.
I would agree. I guess that's why I was thinking maybe we even need like a Y Mount Rushmore and like a school Mount Rushmore, because now I'm curious, but we'll keep going. Haran, who do you got on yours? Who would be your?
I mean,
the top 6.1, but we'll call it a top 4.
The easy two picks for me were Paul and Conco. I mean, you got to take the top 4 player. You got to take the top goalie. Sorry, Brett, you got no cups. Maybe this year's your year. I'm rooting for you when you're not playing against me, but you got to go top on each side.
Yep.
I went Dan. I go back. Why are we here? How are we here? He's also a staple. He's in the top. He's 6th in points, 3rd in goals overall. He's won cups. He's won MVPs. He's won scoring titles. I mean, you do that for the extended career that he's had here. That's fantastic. My fourth pick is kind of off the board. It's going to be Kurt. So we'll start with the stats. 1st overall in penalty minutes. You need that edge. You need that edge piece to be cemented in a mountain. He's 1st in seasons played, at least according to the career stats. And again, he's still running. He's not being wheeled around in a wheelchair. He's not walking everywhere. That man has played 28 seasons and he's still running around the court. He's won a couple cups. Again, I think it goes back to the Hall of Fame debate. You got to win a cup to get in. I think you do in this league. I think you got to be able to work with whatever team you get put on, because there's a new option every season. You got to be able to work with who you got on your team to be able to be one of the greats, if you will. And then the X factor, and this is what kind of put Kurt up there for me. You always know when he's on the floor, whether that's like protecting your face or your no square, or the friend zone, as 2.0 likes to call it.
Friend zone, yeah.
You know when Kurt's on the floor, but also when Kurt's on the floor because you don't know if his shot's going to go in the back of the net or right up and hit you square in the stomach. So you kind of got to be all in on Kurt and just ready to play whatever. And he makes you play a different way, right, wrong, or different, in a good way, in a bad way. He does it all. He makes you play above your A game when you play against it. So that's my X factor.
All right, I like it. I like the pick. I like the explanation. I like the detailed explanation. I know he will be very appreciative of the callback. Probably say you're crazy, but you bring up some really good points. I mean, that even the real life Mount Rushmore doesn't necessarily mean that they were the 4 greatest of all time.
Sure.
That's a different. They each contributed something different to the society. So yeah, I guess that would I can feel that would fit there. It doesn't have to just be the top 4 point getters and then off they go. So I like it. I like that one. Matt, what about you?
Yeah, mine was actually pretty similar to John's.
Man.
I mean, you got to go with Paul. I was looking at his stats earlier today. I think I got him right in front of me. It was like over 1,400 points. It's like, that's insane. Or is it 6? I don't know what my numbers are.
No, you're right.
Is it 1,400? I'm like,
it is over 1,400. Yep.
That's insane. So I was like, you got to put Paul on there, and then I was like, you got to have a goalie on there too. You can't leave a goalie off there, and I went with Conco as well. And I was taking the I don't know who's won cups. I'm still fresh in this league. So it was back and forth in my mind with Brett or Conco. And, maybe it could flip at the end of the season, depending on how things go. But I took Conco. He's played one less season in the goalie stats than Brett and has like 3 more wins. It could change. But as of right now, I put Conco. And then my third was Dan. I mean, this league doesn't get started without him. So you gotta throw the guy who started it all. And then my fourth one was it was hard to pick a fourth one because I thought about, like you said, Sweet, of putting in a defenseman, and I was like, and then I thought of John and Paul. I was like, which one do you want to put on there? But I went with a personal choice, and I'm not going to inflate your ego too much here, Sweet, but I actually put you as my fourth one. Mainly because you got me into this league, with doing all the outdoor stuff, and you pushed to get me, you got me in on the floor. And I think you were trying to get me as a veteran so I could get in there early. So for me, I had to put you as number 4 because I want to be here playing in the RFHL if it wasn't for you, Sweet.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. I appreciate being on there. I mean, I guess I'm already, look at that, a little foreshadowing. I already put myself on there. So a little bit conceited, I guess. Who knows? But yeah, no, that was a solid picks. Solid picks. So I guess it's my turn to go for that. Yeah, I mean, I think with Paul, and you guys are relatively newer, like when we used to have it at the Y, his free shot, which is still deadly to this day, was unbelievable. I mean, he scored 100 points in a season. The scoring used to be a lot higher and used to be way up. So, like, I know that guys like Brett and Conco, their goalie stats across the way, I didn't cycle out like the school to the Y, but I bet you they would be like at least like a goal or 2 different, and probably 3 or 4 save percentages higher. Like it was a different game at the Y. And Paul, and like that's why I think you see sometimes now like guys are so adamant like who it went off of, because if there was like 10 seconds left and you thought it went off of somebody and it didn't, like, and it was a tie game, like, and Paul was shooting, like it was probably going to be a goal and you lost the game. So that's why guys do get so like aggressive with like, whose puck is it? It's like now, like the free shot, how often it goes in. I would say for argument's sake, now it's 20-30%. It was probably closer to 50%. Yep. Shots would go in. If it wasn't blocked, it was probably going in the net, or it hit off the back wall and guys would put it in. I mean, that was the play there. So yeah, Paul was very deadly with that. He was very good for a very long time doing that. When we were there, I would also have Hook on there again. We wouldn't get here where we were without starting. And again, he is still scoring the points. So he has won an MVP. He won some cups and stuff. So yeah, I think we're not here. We're without him for sure. Then I went with so again, I'm saying this with 2 guys that you guys actually mentioned before, but whenever we end up thinking about it, I think the goalies should have their own one. But again, if we did to 6.1, I would have Brett and Conco as the two longest tenured currently playing goalies in there. If we did a playoff Mount Rushmore as a goalie, I'd put Dave Foes in there, because Dave Foes in the playoffs for
playoff Foes.
Yeah, everybody see exactly. You say Dave Foes in the playoffs, and guys just know playoff Foes. He would post 90 plus every single playoff game for years. He would have games where he'd let in 15, 16 playoffs, 4, 5, and you're like, what the heck? So yeah, so playoff wise, we could do a playoff Foes, and he would definitely be on there for the Mount Rushmore. On there, I put Zach Davis. I think Zach Davis is probably the best player that we've had on there for sure. He passes it really well. He was really, I mean, we always say if he played to his full potential, he could have beat anybody back in the day. Just extremely skilled and would pass it more than he would shoot. Everybody loved playing with him. He was a super nice guy, team player, hasn't played in a bit. We're trying to get Alex and Jake, who are cousins, with him to get him back in the league. But yeah, just pure hockey skill. He's one of the better ones that we've had. on there. And then, it's a toss up, and this is why we do like the 0.1 and we do that. Like, I mean, for currently, I mean, I don't know how you leave off Foes or Brad, because that is our current guys. I mean, you got other guys, Mike Bryant was always really good. You mentioned Joe Gant, was like really skilled. Furlano, as has already been mentioned. Enright, who is the current assist leader in the RFHL, who will tell you he's not very good, and don't ever put him anywhere up top. He always says that, but he was always like, he's just just always scored and solid up there. Would be that. I do wish that Al, Maston, remember Al? I wish Al played more in the league.
He would be up there.
Oh man, I think if Al played a bunch more seasons than Al in this gym, I think he would smoke everybody. Even Brad felt like he would be hands down the one. He was very, very good player. And then Pete R. I think Pete R. could be on there as well. Maybe it's at 0.1, because we do the podcast with him and the broadcast, and he's still like highly involved with everything, getting all this up and going. With me, and when he was playing, he was a great player of his own right. He has the rookie goal record for a season, and I don't know if that'll get touched just because we just don't score as much as we do anymore. But yeah, I know I mentioned like a lot of different names, but I was also just kind of talking about some other guys that very well deserve to be on there. So, and
it's funny you brought up Brad. Like in 20 years from now, I mean, he's going to be there. If we do RFHL for another 20 years, Brad Haynes will be up there. It's not an if, it's a when, in my opinion. So
yeah, for sure.
And I felt bad that I was the only one who didn't say Dan, because he's like the George Washington of our league, and such a good dude. But he's probably gonna let me know about it when I see him next.
You're basically not going to be allowed in the COJ anywhere, because you didn't compliment any of them. So wow,
they did such a good job putting this league together that I can't. Okay, I'm just gonna go down.
All right, so I had some more questions, but we're running. We got chatty on those, so I want to talk about week 3. So we're going to move on. But first, I'm going to show you guys something that I got, since we're doing a whole throwback thing. Hopefully, can you guys see this? Let me know if this comes up on your guys' screen here.
Yep.
So you guys see that? So that is the original rules of RFHL, like from season 1. That is from Dan Hook. You're talking about him on there. Do you see the final 3 weeks? The teams are reseeded in making 2 divisions, 1 to 4 and 5 to 8, and they play each team within their division.
It's pretty cool. I like that. I think we might have to think about bringing that back.
Yeah, he was saying that he did that so that you play like the teams that are similar, because you don't, like at the regular, even our schedule, I mean, the first 3 weeks repeat, but like you could have matchups that have no bearing on the playoffs, have nothing.
Right.
But being able to play the top teams again really could set you up for the playoffs we just played the 2nd seed 2 weeks ago or last week, and now we play them again in the finals. He's asked about doing that before, so that'd be something. That would be something to talk about, because I couldn't do the schedule until week 6, right? 7, 8, 9. No, 7. After week 7, then I can finish off the last 3 weeks.
Yep.
And I don't know if back then everybody was 20, so they didn't have any responsibilities, and now we have other things. So I don't know if we could do that per se. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. So we'll have to ask the league to chime in if you like that for some season. We could. Dan asked about it for this season, but it was a little. I didn't want to throw a curveball without asking everybody or making everybody aware that this was going to happen. So we had a lot of stuff going on already. I was just worried there'd be like too much chaos there. And
we didn't have refs back then. Is that another thing? Was this written pre-refs?
Pre-refs. Yep. This was written pre-refs.
So there were some from talking to Dan, Jeremy, Chatterton, those guys. They used to talk about how like a play would stop and they would argue about it for 10 minutes. Like, not necessarily those guys, but other people in the league would, that was off of him. No, it was off of him. That's a goal. No, that's not a goal. Can you imagine? I mean, it's not like the winter session where it's kind of chill and stuff. That's kind of how they used to do it, and rules interpretation. So yeah, it's something else.
Yeah, I like that spectators have no official authority to make a call. I like that rule being in there. So clearly, guys were yelling and screaming and calling it a certain way. Definitely, the peanut gallery was making some comments.
And the peanut gallery was up above the track. So, like, if somebody was like, "Oh, I saw it from up there. Did you see it over there?" Like, could you imagine? Like, the peanut gallery. One was on one far end of the gym, the other was on the other, and he's making the call. Like, holy cow!
Yeah.
So
yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Dan sent it over. I said I was doing that. If he had anything for like a throwback, and that's what he sent me over so that we had that there. So
Is our next 7 could be cooking with Dan?
oh, I don't know if he's still cooking. We'll have to find out if he's still cooking up there. All right, so I'm gonna move on to week 3 because we're running late here. Where we got chatty with that, but that was a good. I'm glad that we everybody. I think that was just like a fun. Everybody else can chime in the chat and Discord or on the who they would put on there and kind of how they would rank them or where they would put them. Again, all in good fun for everybody out there. Just like to have a little fun, little throwback, bring up some old names on there. All right, so now we're gonna move into week 3. And each of us are in these games. That was part of why I had you guys showing up. So hopefully this pops up. Let's see. Week 3 there. Week 3. So week 3, 6:30. We got the Good Morning Vietnam led by Brandon. His assistant captain, Sweet, Steve, Lasagna, Dave King, Matt Sidor, Matt Whitmire, and K-Flow. And against Limp Bizkits, Matt is the captain there with John Foes, George, Newberry, Anders, his assistant captain, Blotzer, and Hartman. Every team has an assistant captain. That is what the @ is there for everybody, so that when their goalies are being goalie, they are tending the goal. They cannot communicate with the refs, so everybody has an assistant captain. That's why you see that on there. So I guess it's my game first. This is going to be a tough one, I think. Honestly, after seeing them last week and everybody scoring and getting on the stat sheet, you got to shut down Foes. He had 7 last week, so that's going to be probably my focus. So, John, I'm coming for you. I will moderately compliment you on one of your goals, which I normally do. Whenever he scores, I'll be like, that was like a 5. When he did it deep through the legs behind the back, I was like, man, you could have do better. So I'm sure I'll say that to him at some point. Throughout there, but this is a good team. I think I'll give them bulletin board materials, Masson, you won't, but I will. I think our speed is going to be the difference in this game. I think we have a lot more speed than they do, especially when you put out me, Steve, Sider, Whitmire. I mean, we have some of the fastest players in the league with the stamina to keep going. So I'd say that, yeah, I think the speed is going to be the difference. We're going to be able to outrun them, out hustle them to the puck and be able to control it. So I will say that and let them figure out how to keep it away from us. And we'll try to stop Foes and maybe get a couple through Matt. I didn't even talk about Matt. Matt has my number. I can't get it past Matt. So I'm not going to be scoring very much. I know that Matt is probably the best goalie ever in the history of the world. And he's just awesome. And I can't do anything about it. So.
Best guy I know who's having a second kid. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, congrats there, Matt. He's probably too worked up. He's probably too worried about that. He probably shouldn't even come.
He probably is not going to even watch.
Matt, why don't you take this week off? Just take the week off. So, yeah, I'm teasing. Matt's very good. I'll be able to get 2. I'll get 2 on Matt. I'll do more passing this week. That's my prediction. Bold prediction. I think we're going to win. Obviously, everybody picks themselves. But I think that after the first period, we'll know if we are hustling to the puck and we are getting to the puck and controlling the pace, then we'll win the game. If they're taking it to us, I think we're going to struggle. That's got to be our speed. Has got to be the reason why we win these games. In my opinion, speed and keep away, possess the puck. So here you guys go, Limp Bizkits. Figure out how to stop our speed, and I'm going to shadow John Foes. So there you go. There we go. I'm coming for you, John. All right, 7:30. We got a tribe called Quest, captained by Brett Slater, with Mike Furlano, Dr. K, Jesse, his assistant captain, Keller, Westgate, Matt, and Allen versus Ryan 2.0 Mulhern. And the Masturbators with rookies Steven Leduc, the Duck is the nickname that he's gotten. Steven Foes, Brother Foes. Chris Galante, because he's hot right now to start off the season. John, Shane the Unicorn, his assistant captain, and apparently a guy on Mount Rushmore, Kurt. So Westgate, I'll let you talk about, since you're in this game, talk about how you think week 3 is going to go for you guys.
Yeah, this is going to be another tough one, just like you said for your game. But this is a game after watching last week. I'm like, I was interested in playing this team, but I'm like, after watching last week's, I'm like, oh, I don't know. You got Chris on the masturbators there. He's leading the league in goals. So I guess for us, that's the big thing is we got to be able to shut him down. But for us, I think we've got to come out with energy. We can't play like how we did last week. If we have a full squad, that'll be great. But we need to come out with energy. We need to just attack. We know how Furlano and Dr. K play. That fast-paced, aggressive forechecking. We need to play that style to beat these guys. And let's give them their first loss of the season. How about that? Let's make them 2-1. Give them some little bulletin board stuff. But yeah, it'll be a fun game. I'm interested just to see all the 3 rookies out there play. That should be fun. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. They played really well from what I saw last week, so I'm excited.
Yeah, they moved it up, but they moved the puck really well. I mean, I think even though that they're rookies, if you watch back the tape, I think I called it out. I think I was doing the broadcast for the game. And I said that they just move really well. Yes, they're rookies and they're trying to get acclimated to the gym. But if you know hockey and you know where to move, if a guy, one guy's got it at the point and they make a triangle, that's how everybody does it. And cycle, all those words, those hockey terms that they all end up doing. I mean, they just move really well without the puck. You see them. They get out wide. Somebody goes behind the net. I mean, so they just move well. The 3 of them, when the 3 of them are out there, they just know where to be in terms of just generally playing hockey. So I think that is their hockey sense has translated very quickly over, and that's helping them there. But I think you guys could take them for sure. Put a little pressure on them. I don't know how much they've been pressured with forecheck, and you have Furlano, Dr. K doing a lot of that, getting in, right up in their grill. Those guys love to just put body on body. If you've never played against them, that's what they like to do. What's up?
They play better against the top guys.
Yeah.
Furlano and Dr. K. I mean, it's just another gear they go into when they're playing these top guys. So, I don't want to put anything against the masturbators. I haven't played them yet. I haven't even seen them play yet. They've been at the other end of the schedule for my team, but you have the right team in place to take them down this week if you can. But again, I'm looking at your goals against per period, and the second period is going to be the deciding period for your game.
Yeah.
You guys got to prevent the goals against, and they seem to slow down in the second. So if you can take that second period, I think that's what wins that 7:30 game.
Yeah, and that just goes back to us, just keeping that pace up. We got to keep running. We can't slow down. We can't just stand still. We've got to move. I think that's what we fell into last week. But if like you said, John, if we can keep moving and we can take and be up in that second period, I think we could win this. I'm not going to give a score, but it's going to probably be. I imagine it's going to be a close game. But I still have us winning.
Yeah, of course. Who doesn't pick themselves? That's what everybody comes on the podcast, and then are you going to pick somebody else?
Didn't Noobs do that last year? Didn't he pick us to lose again?
Yep.
I didn't forget about that, Noobs.
All right, awesome. So we'll move on to 8:30. 8:30, we got the Sarnia Sting led by Conco. We got Hook, Fridman, Paul, Cody, John Chatterton, Kenton, and the assistant to the regional manager, Jeremy, in there. And for the against the Manitoba Moose, led by Kazmark with Brad, Sean, Petrie, Haran as the assistant. I don't know what he's thinking there. Bob Haynes, Shane Humphrey. Hopefully he comes this week, and Dave Foes rounding out their team. So, Haran, your team. What do you see in this game?
Well, for one, I think Kaz picked the assistant or alternate captain based on who complains the most, so that's why I'm there. But I really think the deciding factor here is going to be how Sarnia starts the game. I've repped their games, I've watched their games. That first period is the deciding factor for them. They can battle back, they can run. I'm not looking forward to running all game to try to block a Dan shot. Hopefully I can be paired up with Paul and we can kind of do that lazy run back on defense or offense. But I think the deciding factor is who's playing goalie. Is Conco going to take his first full game? If so, I think, I'll be coming for you, Conco, in the third. But if he gets a period off, he like we said at the start of the podcast, he was a different animal last week. He came in and he was battling. He was stopping shots. He was the reason that he stopped Good Morning Vietnam. Sweet, you guys had their number all game, and he came in and settled the storm. But I think, back to the Manitoba Moose, we just got to get back onto our game. We got to keep moving the puck around. Again, pending some injuries. I don't want to speak to my team, but we're ready. We're out for blood. If we can run, if we can fight, if we can score, we will. If not, it's all preseason until the playoffs. So I'm not going to make a score, but I will say this. I think in the end, whoever outscores that first period is going to win the game. Whoever scores more in the first is going to win.
So I got a question for you. What if we did who's going to have more and who's going to win the game? Your blocks versus Paul's blocks. Is the block score? Is the block score between you two going to be like more or less than the actual game score?
That's an easy blocks above goals, 100%.
Okay.
I'll say this much. I think if Paul can match up against Brad, I think blocks over goals. But if Paul doesn't have the shooter, I don't think Sarnia has too many blockers in their roster. Look at him. No. Kenton was a blocking machine playing forward. I mean, he was forward checking like crazy after he got out of goal. So I think the easy pick there, the easy bet is blocks over goals. But my goal is to have more goals than Paul's blocks.
All right. I like that. All right. Yeah, I just started looking at it. I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be like a 9-8 block game, and that could also be the same score of the game. So it'll be interesting. We'll have to be whoever's doing the stats for 8:30. We'll have to be counting.
It all depends on the stats.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you got to pick a good person for that 8:30 stats slot.
I've heard it 1,000 times. The assists are wrong, the blocks are wrong. And I was like, yeah, but the goals are right. I think the goals are probably 95, 96% right that we get every week. I mean, blocks and assists, yeah, we saves. We are all over the place with that. But as long as we get the goals, that's important. The goals are the most important. I'm happier with that. Getting all the goals correct. So, all right, last game of the night, the RFHL After Dark. You guys should stay and watch it every week. After Dark, crazy things happen. So this week, After Dark, we have the Mark Ziegler-led Phoenix Coyotes with Paul, Kyle, rookie Brendan, Brian D'Angelo as the assistant captain, another suspect, Mike Curry and Dan Thiesing there, going up against the Alex Packard Iron Thrones. Winter is coming. The Frankie, Jake, Bill Smith. This is actually the first time, by the way, back to Jake and Alex, that Jake and Alex have played together, and they're cousins. And this is the first year that they've played together. Bill Smith, exclamation point. Maston is the assistant captain. Good choice. Glenn Fridman and rookie Austin on there. So Maston, your team, you're up. Go for it.
I have some breaking news here for the 9:30 game this week, and that is that Alex will not be making the game. So it's going to be a tough one to predict for me.
So is Frankie in that?
According to league rules, he cannot be. So
who made those rules?
COJ. I don't know who those people are. I've never heard of them before today, but I'm hoping I can. But we'll find out who our goalie is going to be. Obviously, it's a big coincidence that Mark and Paul were in my Mount Rushmore, and now I'm playing against them. So I think what I did is I gave them anti-bulletin board material, so hopefully they go easy on us. It should be a good game. I mean, two different styles, but with Kyle and Brian being RFHL veterans, I kind of know what to expect from them. Brendan, I haven't seen play yet. They've been at the opposite end of our schedule. Mike's a good defenseman. Dan's very a very good forechecker and Johnny on the spot for rebounds. So I think that we will definitely give him a good game. I think with how we gelled last week with the Iron Thrones, it'll be a big deal. It'll be tough without Alex and what to expect there. So more to come on this game as we find out who our goalie is going to be. That's obviously a very huge factor in how this game goes.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, Alex messaged me and I promptly ignored him.
What's up with that?
I don't know. It's the weekend. I save my RFHL until I'm getting paid, and then I do it then. So hopefully my boss isn't watching. But yeah, he did ask. I do have to get back to him. So,
yeah, he's going to an NHL game. I didn't even know the NHL started next week. Is it next week? He's going to a game on a Wednesday. Isn't that like the Sabbath? You can't really do that. From what I've been told, you can't make plans on a Wednesday.
I haven't done anything else on a Wednesday for a very long time, and I'm sure my girlfriend's super happy about it. But hey, every Wednesday, I'll allow Alex to go as long as he wears his jersey to the game.
I think he will. I think Alex is definitely somebody who will take a picture and send it to us with his jersey on at I believe it's the Sabres game he's going to. I think he's doing that. So, we'll miss you, Alex, but it'll be a good game regardless. It's, you can't replace an Alex. He's our captain. Our assistant captain is very suspect, not very organized, bad pep talker, and tends to talk too much. So, all
right. So Madison, okay. So you're done.
Yeah. That's all I got.
You can keep talking.
No. I'm just saying he doesn't make sense. He just keeps on talking and talking, and I don't know where he's going with any of this. So,
is this? What are we talking about here? Is this cooking the game?
I don't know.
Wait, who'd you pick to win?
I didn't pick anyone. I refuse to pick. I refuse to pick a winner for my own game. I always know that we have the capability to win, and I know that we will win. But I gotta,
All right, so then if you're not going to pick your game, who's winning the other 3 games? Tell me that.
Oh, glad you asked.
You're not going to. Yeah,
glad you asked. Yep. I got Limp Biscuits in the first game.
Okay.
I got the Master Vaders in the second game, and then the third game, I have an upset from last week. I think the Manitoba Moose go out and take it.
I was going to say you almost went 3 for 3 picking against all of us.
Yeah, so good luck to those teams that
Gotcha. All right, Westgate, what's your picks, Westgate, and then we'll wrap it up.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go. Sorry, sweet. I'm gonna go with Biscuit. Matt's just a heck of a goaltender, so I'm gonna give it to him. Obviously, gonna skip us. If I had to go to 8:30, that's a tough one. I want to say Sarnia Sting on that one, and the 9:30. I haven't seen any from the 9:30 game, so it's I'm gonna pick Phoenix Coyotes. They're 0-2. They're gonna get their first one.
Yeah. What about you, Haran?
6:30. I'm going Limp Biscuits. Blotz is gonna have the winning goal. Matt Whitmire is gonna score nothing. 7:30 game. Brett's gonna rebound after last week. He looked like he wanted to have a couple of those goals back. Plus, like I said, for Lano and Dr. K, they're going to elevate themselves to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Coming against the rookies, coming against the top guys right now. For the 9:30, I was going to go Iron Thrones because I think Alex has that edge over Paul's shot. But with Alex out, I'm going to have to go Phoenix Coyotes. I think Mark puts up 95+% in this game.
Yeah. He's a tough one to go against without our goalie. So
yeah.
I hear you. I hear that.
All right. In my games, I know that the person I'm going to talk about is going to tell me the correct answer, but I know that I'm pretty confident that 2.0 has Brett's number when he's been in net. I think he's up like 5-2 or something like that. It's it's a couple games up on him. They like to go head to head. So the schedule makers blessed us, letting them play twice. I know that they like to go head to head against each other in this one. So I know that 2.0 has had Brett's number in there, but Brett gets his revenge. Brett takes it to him. I'm going with the Quest on this one. So everybody's going to have a loss after this week. for that. And I play the Master Vaders week 4. So if they haven't lost by then I guess they're probably going to give it to me because I'm picking against them. So I'm setting myself up for failure week 4, but that's fine. I'm going to Tribe Called Quest to bounce back after last week. 8:30, I'm going to go with the Manitoba Moose. Basically because Sarnia beat us last week and I'm mad at them. So too bad you lose this week. Enjoy your win for 1 week, Daniel. And then at 9:30, I'm going with the Phoenix Coyotes to get their first win on there. I think even with Alex, I do like the Coyotes in that one. You guys played great last week. I see you guys do it again, and then maybe I'll change my opinion. But I do think that they are a very dangerous 0-2 team, and I wouldn't want to play them with those two at the top. And yeah, Haran said 95 plus for Mark. I could definitely see that's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, I like that. I like that pick.
Yeah.
All right. Any closing thoughts for you guys?
We definitely kept this under a half hour, so.
We did not. We got really chatty there, but it was good. It was a good time. I know we tried to. We were saying we were going to keep it chatty. Sorry, I ran long, but it was about an hour, I think, is where we're at. But it was good. Any other thoughts for you guys?
No. Good luck to everybody this coming week, and we'll see what happens. See what happens with the picking of these picks.
Picking up these picks. Yeah, I can't wait for the pictures. Thanks for Kurt. Kurt's going to do another week for it. I know Kurt's going to do another week for it. Probably only missed 4 guys, I think, in there, which is really awesome. So I'm excited to see how those turn out. For that, I got an awesome picture that's going to be on the post. You guys will see the picture first before you get to this point in the podcast. Again, a throwback to season 1. We're talking about Mark's, which he picked the defunct NHL teams, and then slyly picked the most recent defunct NHL team. So, all right, fair. I'll give it to him. It was there, but yeah, make sure you guys clean up after yourselves, please. I don't want to find water bottles empty and or just left behind. Please clean up all your stuff. Yeah. Is it Wednesday yet?